Hey everyone, welcome to TeamMSRV, where we show you life is not over just because you have MS, for you or your caretaker.
And that's why we decided to sell everything and enjoy life to the fullest.
So follow us on our adventures for tips and tricks on how to cope with this disease on a daily basis.
And maybe we could help each other. Hi, I'm Tammy Tea, and I have MS. I was diagnosed in late of 2018.
And I'm Frankie T, her husband, and I stand by my wife through thick and thin.
And today is our first episode, and hopefully you guys are excited as we are.
Yeah, when Tammy was diagnosed, we really didn't know what to do or who to turn to. As a matter of fact, it seems like everyone we talked to really didn't understand what we were going through, or the disease itself for that matter.
And this is why we created this channel, so we could share our experience with you.
Yeah, by creating this community, maybe we can grow together and help each other by sharing each other's experience with each other. Make sure to connect with us on our Facebook group and our Discord server. I'll link to it below in the comments.
And don't forget, as a team, we got this.
So today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about us again. Not really our history, but kind of our motivation behind everything and how we really got started. We had a little cheat sheet here that we're going to be looking at a lot. Yes. So let's get started on that. That sounds good.
Sounds good.
So why is this important to us?
Well, we had to learn, because we were really active, and then we had to learn to slow down and
change.
And
modify our life, the way we approach things. That, and then we also, we had to learn all this on our own.
It was scary.
Yeah, it was scary. And we did look through YouTube, and we were Googling things online, and all we ever found was Mayo Clinic explaining what MS is and how that works, which we'll have our own video at one point of that. Yeah. But never really how to deal with the symptoms or the emotions and feelings of going through the diagnosis and all that. So that's the reason for this channel. We want to share our experiences with you and have a platform for other people to share their experiences with others as well, not only us. Yeah. Right? This is what we're after. All right, next on that list, how did we adjust and how did we deal with losses? Meaning of our abilities or things that...
So it's been 2 years.
Yes.
Since I was diagnosed. For sure.
Yes.
And 2 years plus. We did have to adjust, because I think I said that again, we're really active. We were hiking, we were fishing, we did some boat.
We did everything. Firewood, gardens, everything was... We were trying to create a self-sustaining farm that provided 70% of our food at one point.
Yes, before I got diagnosed.
Which if you don't know, farming is very physical. Very, very physical. It takes a lot of labor, which we wanted that to save the money so that we didn't have to earn so much so we could have a better quality of life. That's what we were chasing, right?
Yeah.
But things change, right? So here we are going down that road, and we were chasing that. We had a tractor, we had 26 acres and chickens, and we were working our way up, right? We were living it. And then the adjustment was, okay, you don't have the energy. Right? She would have the energy for a little while, but then she crashes because that's just, your immune system is always fighting. It's always working, so you're always tired from that.
Yeah.
And you can't change that. So what you change is the schedule.
And then I had a business I was doing too. I was cleaning houses. And then I realized, and then sometimes he would come and help me.
Yeah.
And then, so I would start the top, he would stop the bottom. And then, like he said, my energy. It took me longer to finish something and he was almost... So that's what we realized. And then even my, the garden, when we were doing the garden, I was working full-time, you were working full-time, and I couldn't keep up.
Well, you couldn't. You would come home and be burnt right out from work.
And I didn't know why. Something was happening. Something was going on.
Yeah, this is all This is during the figuring it all out, which was hard. And work was pushing you really hard, which they were fatiguing her for one, just by, her working physically, running around and helping people. But then they were also mentally draining you because they would push, if you know anything about a doctor's office, you know they like to double book, you know they like to push you and get you in and out as fast as you can.
Yes.
That is very stressful for her because she was like starting to become forgetful, and right, it was starting to have a negative impact on your abilities in the workplace, and they didn't see it as a disease or disability. They seen it as you not doing as much as you used to.
Yeah.
Which made them push.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on before I start boiling
Yes.
over. So the unaffordable living, let's talk about that really quick because we did go into this on another video. But the unaffordable living downstate.
Oh, yes.
We moved because
we wanted to get closer to my doctors, and so we got an apartment. But it's just
we were competing with everybody because of COVID.
Oh yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
People were in a city and they wanted to get closer to country-wise. Us, we were in a country-wise. We wanted to get closer to our doctors.
The city.
But
the funny thing is like where we lived, it's really country, and where we were moving was city to us. Right?
Yes.
Like Portland, Maine, and surrounding suburbs is city.
For
you know, the
us.
houses are on like half-acre lots. It's small. Everything is tight.
Yeah.
But these people from Connecticut and New York and Massachusetts were coming, and they're like, we're moving to the country, Portland, Maine. And we're just...
Yeah.
But they were paying city prices from where they were from for Maine houses, which was way overpriced
So
at the time.
yeah. So we got kind of like
Squeezed. Pushed. Yeah, we got squeezed out because we didn't want to compete with them and have $0. Right? We would have had no money.
Yeah.
Just to be closer to the doctor, we would have struggled, and it would have created new stresses. So we kind of moved further away to where it was affordable.
Yeah.
Which was madness.
And then he had to travel an hour to go to work.
And the place wasn't even that great.
Right.
It was a fair apartment. It was like, So the cost of that plus the travel now, and now I'm losing 2 hours a day on top of it. It was just too much. And that's when we decided that the RV, it was time. Circumstances were pushing us towards the RV.
Yes. I mean, we talked about it, and then we're like, okay, we're going to do this.
It's time to do it right now.
Yes, because if we don't do it, we're never going to do it.
We may never do it right, which is at the end of our list, but we're going to talk about that now. Because many people say, oh, I'm going to do that when this happens. Like they set a trigger to do something else. Yeah. So when I retire, I'm going to go on vacation. When I hit 50 is when I'm going to buy that motorcycle. So when you do that, you're setting your goals and your happiness pivoting on a maybe, on a what if. Which that what if might get knocked right out of the play one day, and now all your vacation plans and the time that you planned for yourself in the future is gone.
Yes.
Right? So like we're the type of people to grab it when we can, grab the bull by the horns and run with it. And go, right? So here we are. Sure. Is it a big risk? Yes. Could we lose our shirt? Yes. Are we living our life though to the max?
Yes.
Yes, we are. And that's what it's about, right? We didn't want to look back 20 years from now saying, man, we should have did it when we had the chance. We did it.
We did it.
Here we are.
And
we're full steam ahead now.
Yes.
So it's exciting.
It is.
All right, let's keep this moving.
Okay.
Let's talk about the type of MS you have. First, wait a minute here. Let's make it clear to everyone. Tu parles français?
Ah oui, je parle français. Bonjour tout le monde.
Right, see, so I said probably, I know maybe 10 sentences in French.
So he said, oh wait.
You talk French.
You talk French. And then I said, yes, I speak French. And I said, hello everyone.
Right.
That's what I said.
Because English, don't forget, that's our second language.
Yes.
French was first. She's from Canada. She went to school in Canada. So it blows people's minds sometimes when they figure out that you start talking French and they're like,
huh?
What the heck is happening here?
So don't hate if I have words that I can't say in English.
When she stubs her toe, French comes out. Trust me.
It's there.
Every bad word there is. So yeah, with the French though, I just wanted to get that in there so we didn't forget. I want everyone to know you're my Frenchy wife here.
Oui. Oh, oui. Yes.
So, but no, let's talk about the type of MS, right? There's we know that there's 3 types, plus there's like this pre-type out there.
Yeah.
So we'll say the pre-type, they consider it CIS. Let me look at this. It's called clinically isolated syndrome. So it's like you have a neurological attack of some sort, right? And that it's MS-like, but it's the first time it's ever happened. So they really don't want to call it MS because MS is when it keeps recurring. So a lot of people might get diagnosed with that CIS first because their next symptoms might not occur for 6 more months. And then it'll change from CIS to the type you actually have.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that type.
Yes.
Then there's RRMS, which is relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis, which is, it comes again, like it'll have like a flare. I don't want to say flare because that's not the right word, but it'll have its moments where it's really attacking you, right? And then it's going to have its moments of remission where you're really normal.
Yeah.
Unless you're provoking stress and then creating your symptoms again.
Yes.
But typically, if you were in a resting state and relaxed, you're in remission.
Yes.
There's no new damage happening. That's thankful to the new medications and sciences.
And that's what I have. I have the RRMS.
Yes, that's yours.
That I was diagnosed with.
And that's the most common type. I think 80 to 85% of MS cases are RRMS, where it attacks for a while. It may be days, weeks, it may be months, but then it remits for a while.
Yes.
And you're in remission where there's no new anything happening, and then out of the blue, something again will happen. And that's whether it's treated or untreated in some cases that we've learned.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
In your case, your treatment is working well.
Yes.
And there hasn't been any relapses.
No. Yeah.
You've been in remission since you started it.
Yes.
So, but before we go on to the medication, let's real quickly talk about the other types because there may be viewers watching that have PPMS.
And that's primary progressive
multiple
MS.
sclerosis. Yes. So with that type, it's a little more aggressive. And if I was making a graph, I would say that the RRMS has like a spike and then a flat section, and then a spike and then a flat section, and then a spike. Sorry, I didn't mean to block you like that. When PPMS, the primary progressive, it's kind of a slow, gradual climb.
Oh.
Again, oh yeah, here, I'll go this way. And it climbs up out of sight. And that, for them, it's a little more aggressive. They have to be a little more aware of their situation and their condition and be more careful, especially if they're trying to follow along with activities we do or stuff that we're doing.
And I don't think like the medication doesn't slow down, right? It just keeps going.
Right, like your medication really attacks it. Certain medications, I can't speak from experience, obviously, because neither of us have that. Maybe you guys can inform us and help us correct this video.
Yes, please.
But I believe that there is a medication that helps slow the rise.
The progressing, okay.
It's not as aggressive, but it still progresses slowly. But you may be right that there might not be a medication that stops it at all.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's SPMS, which is the secondary progressive, and that one's very aggressive. That's at the point where the disease has progressed to it's mature at that point, and it really, the curve is going up in the aggressiveness of it. How hard it's attacking you. A lot of people with RRMS, not a lot of people. I should rephrase that. There's potential that people with RRMS can transition later on into secondary progressive MS. I just wanted to say it the right way. I wanted to make sure. Just so that, like, you may have these periods with the rising, but then you may have an attack that is aggressive enough that it makes it sweep up, and then you don't have the remission anymore. So those are all possibilities. But again, so that they know what we're dealing with, it's the remitting or relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis, RRMS.
So it's RRMS that I have.
That's right. Yes. So what she does, though, we should talk about it, is her primary treatment, her primary medication is an IV treatment called Ocrevus or Ocrevus or Ocrevus. We've heard it a few different ways, and Google gave us 2 different versions. We say Ocrevus.
Yes. Archivist.
If we're wrong, correct us. So we can say it the right way. We don't like to sound like we don't know.
Yeah,
what
so
we're
that
using.
was my first medication
That's
when
right.
when I was diagnosed, and that's the one I started was the Archivist. I mean, we have 5 or 6 pamphlet.
Oh yeah, that's right. She gave us a bunch of information of all these different medications,
And-
all the side effects, all the treatment plans that go along with those medications.
Yes.
They're like little books.
Yeah, they were little books. And then I was a medical assistant for a neurology office before.
That's right.
And I didn't know some of the medication because I had patients that wanted to know. So I think that's how I decided my decision.
Plus, we like the fact that, you know, some of those pamphlets, they were daily injections or daily pills. Some of them were weekly, some of them were monthly.
Yeah.
And this one was 22 to 24 weeks between treatments,
Yes.
which,
And that's why we decided that that would be a lot easier for us.
and we were traveling at that time for those treatments. So I think that played a role because it was like a 5-hour road trip one way,
Yeah.
which meant a hotel night for 2 nights,
Yes.
eating out. You know, it cost a lot of money after a while. If we were doing that weekly or monthly, that would get expensive. So I think that was it. That was one factor.
Yes.
Another factor was that they had the clinical study for you.
Yes. That's
And there was a
right.
clinical study trying to speed up the, what do they call that?
The infusion, because
The infusion.
it was it's 5 hours, but now they brought it down to like I think it's 3 or 3.5 hours.
Right.
I'm not too sure, so I'm gonna make sure I have the right answer before we.
I think you're right though. It's 3.5 hours. I think that is the right number. That they're trying to make it more convenient for people. You know, a
Yes.
6-hour stay is normally a half a day of work.
With my infusion, I do the Benadryl, and we have to wait an hour or a half hour, and then after the Benadryl, I start the steroid, and that's an hour. I wait for that, and then I start the infusion. That is 3 to 3.5 hours, and then after that, I have to stay for an hour to make sure that we don't have no
Side effects.
side effects that shows up, and then
Yeah. So, but it's been successful for you.
yes,
I mean, the infusions, the MRIs since the infusions have been clear.
yes,
No new bright spots.
No.
None of that. So we're not doctors or scientists, obviously, or chemists for that matter. But we do know that the way that Ocrevus works is it targets and destroys the B cells in your immune system, right, in your blood, which is what actually attacks the myelin on your spinal cord,
yes.
right? So we'll go into another video of how that all works and how it happened to Tammy, and maybe it'll help someone else understand. But it is a successful drug. The side effects, have been low.
Yeah,
I feel like for you, mild. You've
Yeah.
been doing really well with that medication, and I think you should stay on that.
Yeah, then before I go get my infusion, I do some blood work to make sure everything is okay and I don't have an infection.
That's right.
Yeah, so they do that. So by doing the blood work, they could see if my kidneys are failing, or they check for the B cell, and they also check for the CD20 and the CD19.
Well, yeah, I wasn't gonna call those out, but yeah.
Yeah, they check for that too. So.
Right, so that's really it. So that's why we're chasing this crazy dream we have of being helpful to others out there. Because we didn't have that help. I mean, we were pointed in a few directions, but they were all very clinical. It was there was no like real people with real life problems that were talking in regular sentences.
Right.
Not that we're regular at all. But I feel like just by sharing our experience, it may make someone feel better. It may help someone understand their situation a little better, and make their progress with MS a little bit easier, right? Because it's a
a hard disease.
It's a hard disease, yes. And if it's new to you, right, or new to anyone that you know, for that matter, they need the support. You need to support someone. The victim of that disease needs the support. It's mental support and physical support they need. They need help.
Definitely, yes.
And be there, right?
Be there for each other.
And that's what here we are. We're trying to create a place where you can vent to someone and they understand you. They know what you mean. Like, you know, or you can ask questions because you're unsure if something is right or wrong.
And if we know the answer, we'll give it to you. If we don't have the answer, we'll try to find the answer for you.
Or someone else in the community may have the answer.
Yes.
They may be using the same medication that they are and that we aren't.
Yeah.
So that's why we want to create this. It's going to be like this bubble of information for people to share and help each other. So that's it.
So hopefully this helped you guys.
Yeah, and then make sure to check out the baseline symptom video because that'll help understand the crazy days that don't make sense.
Yes, and that will be the experience of my baseline.
Always.
Yeah.
Everything's off of her experiences.
Yes.
So that's it.
Okay.
See you guys.
Thanks everyone for watching. Use our playlist to watch our video in order.
And the best way to support us is to like this video and subscribe to our channel and get notifications. Don't forget, 25% of any money ever earned on this channel will be donated to an MS cause of your choosing.
As a team, we got this.